Hey, today we played a Pioneer Preliminary on Magic Online with this deck. It's a variant of Lotus Field Thespian Stage combo deck that is popular in Pioneer, although with a pretty different twist this time. It's a list very close to it top 8 at the Pioneer Challenge in the last weekend, so I decided to take it for a spin. This deck produces a lot of mana with Lotus Field Thespian Stage, just like the regular versions. But then instead of comboing off in the way that the traditional versions do, it spends all of that mana on casting time walk effects and getting ahead this way. So the combo is slightly different. Frankly, you can kinda do whatever once you have a lot of mana. The nice thing about this deck is using discontinuity in a way that can work both as a ramp spell and a time walk effect. Because if you play Lotus Field on turn 3 with 2 mana up, you can end your turn with discontinuity, save your lands from getting sacrificed. That's the reason why the card is in the deck. On top of that, it works well with the Fairy Hero of Dominaria. You play Teferi, plus if you have already deployed 2 Lotus Fields or copied a field with second stage, you get to have exactly 6 mana untapped, and you get to finish your opponent's turn in your upkeep, effectively letting you take another turn. On top of that, we have the regular stuff: pour over the pages, a great draw spell, untaps your Lotus Fields, digs very deep, 9 time walk effects, notably 3 different names on the time walks, which means that we can use Emergent Ultimatum to force our opponent to let us take at least 2 extra turns. The Fairy Hero of Dominaria, a great payoff for taking more turns than it typically is allowed to, etc. So, in general, Pioneer, kind of a weird place. Recently, whenever I play in the challenges and the preliminaries, format is very slow. The decks that people are playing are really surprisingly slow. There's barely any aggro to see. So that explains why decks with a, curve like this one are allowed to exist. As you see, like, we play Arboreal Grazers, and then like 2 mana card selection spells, and then 5 mana and up. As for the sideboard, we're not using the traditional Wish package, so we have our sideboard fully to ourselves. Mystical Dispute to substitute our Arboreal Grazers whenever they are kinda bad. We're against all the slower decks, really. Because we are not running any creatures besides Arboreal Grazer, we get to play Kahira as our companion, which not super relevant, but you know, when you take extra turns, the damage from the companion can actually add up. It can be relevant. And Fault Distortion, Chandra, Awaken Inferno, Uncounterable Bombs versus control decks. Ritual of Soot, the sweeper of choice. Could be Anger of the Gods, could be Shatter the Sky. Ritual of Soot over Anger of the Gods nicely deals with the mono green deck Steel Leaf Champions alongside Stubborn Denials. Be nice to have that in your deck then, and Wilt to deal with Damping Sphere, as obviously that card beats us pretty handily. So, is this deck any good? Does it really have any advantages over the regular build? I don't really know, but it looks kinda sweet, as they say, therefore I wanted to try it. Nice thing for sure is that this deck almost entirely avoids any graveyard reliance. So, not even Balagate Recovery, not even something minor like that. You can just hardcast your Delve spells if necessary, so you can definitely just ignore graveyard hate. Alright, with that out of the way, let's move on to the matches. Gas Blessing is wasting sideboard slot for mill only. Kozilek good against mill and control. Bro, you can sideboard Kozilek against that. Mulligan, so we don't get our field exiled. This is a Knave set with Knave. Following random Eldrise against control sounds cheesy. It's fine, it's very strong. The bears, I think the bears are the strongest ones to hardcast. A sniper, well, we got a viewer, I don't know about a sniper. Won't be an excessive way to describe that. Oh, stage. Avoid these slaughter games. On the next turn, on Lotus Field, and by slaughter games I mean What do you go? I guess other games can hit lands. But still, like, that will be my preferred play because I want to stage on the next turn. You can stage on the next turn without playing the field, but what if they actually play Ego and they draw it and they play it? Would be a shame. Although I don't think many play main deck Ego. Maybe playing against better than Shimmer in a deck with those, but potentially. There is one deck for time and one temporal trespass. I thought about it and make the change because this deck copied out the Shimmer, but it certainly feels like it could be nice. It went 4-1 with BTL with no Vaki, nice. This is the legal model. O nie, kotku, nie. Stepping on my F2 key. Wouldn't be the first time that he passed the turn. Slaughter Games. What is other name? Rename. I just named Fey of Wishes. No, not the viewer thing. Gonna name Fey of Wishes. Single modern 5-0 means so little. Multiple 5-0s and you have my attention. I don't remember who said that. Like a true quote. Rather like a thing that you could say that's not meaningless. Unlike a single 5-0. I assume it's gonna name Tefari. I'm the hero of the Minaria, but maybe not. Maybe 4 over the pages? That'd be weird. 4 over the pages, shit. In that exact spot I called Fey of Wishes in top 4 LOL at kanister _ MTG. I still won the game or the match only. Shit, I meant to get the cycle end. I won that game. Motion Thief plus my command for 2 turns. It's a pretty powerful combination, so you got your upper and good. Also imagine the Nemesis deck not having slaughter games in upper hand. Put Stratmore and bring to light into their hands here. Might be a bit hard to win, like, what are my top decks really? I have 12 mana, but if I was playing the normal Lotus field deck, I'll be doing better. Oh yeah, Ultimatum is great, that's true. Ultimatum is actually quite great. I mean, we get 2 time walks. It's not that it's like great, but I guess we cannot get 2, we can get like 2 time walks. Well, dig, time walk, D8. I'm gonna get the Motion Thief now. Motion Thief doesn't work against that many cards in my deck, although it does work against some. But he also planned meant to get the Cyclone, so I missed out on his speed round. This game is kinda bad. Boken the Boken indeed. Chimera possibility in Ketria Triumph, okay. -1 bear. No respect. Now cast, not play. 5. So if we add 5 cards in the graveyard and 6 here, that is 11. Means that we can cast a time walk. Does it exile itself? Why does every single time walk exile itself? Like, why can't we have nice things? Might ask. Attack Teapot. Why can't it just shuffle itself into your deck? Funny. Also true. Part. Epiphany. Dig. Done. I think we are going to manage to emerge victorious. I missed you. That's how I never heard this. Now watch this trick. In my end step, we can foretell. And then I can play it for less mana. Yeah, do you understand? the magnitude. What card did your opponent slaughter games? They got rid of 4 over the pages. So pour 1 for my opponent, as they say. You wanted to scoop? I didn't really want to scoop, no, but I felt a bit affected, yeah. I hear a pumps animated lens. Yeah, that's possible. It's the Awakened Color. I don't think it is. 0/0 elemental creature of haste. Thank you very much for the sub, Ultimate Price. 8 months. I figured not. I thought you were not subbing. I thought you were just posting memes every day with the tantalizing Twitch Prime icon alongside your name somehow. I missed that. Very curious. Okay, this time I'm going to save 2 lands with discontinuity pin TT chat. I promise. I promise I'm not gonna blow it. Bottom this, I think. Alright, let's solve an opponent and would ego me on the next turn. I don't want to play slowly that I don't cast this on this turn, because then I don't cast the discontinuity on the next turn, which I would like to. Oh, Giganta. Why not play more dinosaurs as Snipers of Kahira, like Webward sort of? Good point. I'm gonna pass with the dispute. Play the field discontinuity in the next turn. Would you say discontinuity is a 2/1 disposition? It is worth 2 lands, yeah. Coward? I don't think there's any cowardice in my moves. Just that I can play slowly and like not counter their 5-drop if they play 5-drop. Be it BTL or the other. Of course they can play Giganta for 5 mana now, and I'm gonna feel super stupid because with Giganta they can actually tap Giganta for mana, and then I mean dispute becomes quite bad when they cast spells using Giganta. They should print a card that makes it impossible for the opponent to concede, so one could enjoy taking all the turns. Yeah, maybe they should. But they could tap the Giganta, play a 5 mana card now. Oh, that's fine, they play Niv and not BTL. Bring to Light, Dreadbore. Puts Bring to Light, Slaughter Games and Nahiri into their hand with Niv as a 3-point ability. Your Slaughter Games and Rough. I don't think you can make a Wassy sign of the card that prevents conceding. A card that would prevent concessions would infringe of players' human rights, it could not be printed. Opponent really hates for discontinuity, could have countered that. It costs 6 mana on my opponent's turn, I didn't have 6 mana. What if it can be played in international waters? True. I mean only there. Curious design. Thank you for not being a vapor. Welcome, I guess. It's bad to dispute here, they know they have the disputes. Second dispute check. Wow, actually worked. This channel for the mirror. It's for grinding matchups. I'm gonna search for Chandra now. I've been paying close attention. How has this deck felt? I think it's mostly like the same, like It's probably like same against slow decks as the Lotus deck, but kind of worse against fast decks because I think it's slower too. The interesting thing though is that it actually doesn't utilize the graveyard, so like if somebody was using Rest in Peace against you, it doesn't really do anything. It's more consistent in the Lotus deck, maybe. It's definitely slower though. I don't know, more consistent. Consistent, schmonsistent. Kanister, are you enjoying playing this Pioneer deck? To an extent I am. I get to perform game actions and do stuff. Like, you kinda... I don't know. It's also better against Notion Thief. Chandra should kill the Nimbus so I can attack with the birds. Two Epiphany saved. You're a genius, Kanister, you're a genius. And it's pretty funny that we're taking all the turns and like Chandra puts emblems on my opponent, but they're actually useless because Chandra doesn't do anything, because they never take a turn. Okay, I was about to use Chandra to kill Nebmezet and attack with the birds and cast Epiphanies, and it was 4, 6, 8 witches and lethal, so the part of water level and like ult the fairy, so you know, pretty trivial as my point was pretty dead. Is it playing cards legal and Thunder kinda cringe? It is. I agree with that. Soon discontinuity will rotate though, so in this deck is gonna become less cringe. Preliminary. Ow. Moon for field. We're gonna hit with this. I think we're gonna hit, because then I can save mana and be fine. I think I'll put back the ultimatum here. Opponent's last sim deck 2 days ago is at Phoenix. Good. Kanister in a hot tub. And an emote that signifies... Okay, that's a gas emote. Yeah, that's indeed the case. Could play this or this. I think like most of you like to play this. Okay, no Lotus field, Monk S. At least you're gonna have a stage in the battlefield, so once we play the field, we're gonna be able to have 2 fields and then untap and 4 over the pages. Or 1 over the pages. Kahira works as a great fodder for 4 over the pages too. But probably on removal heavy draw. I'm just gonna copy. Don't need the extra 2 lands from discontinuity really, and Tefari into untap 6 mana. Is a line to steal my points turn. Next turn. Oh, new card. You can pay 1 blue to end your next turn. True, I can also end my next turn without playing 1 blue, but options are frankly limitless. Quite the wrong I just got. Draw the ultimatum. No. We want 4 birds and play. Then we play the Tefari here, but I mean, even 4 birds you're gonna play Tefari. Like, I'm just trying not to get shreked by unsubstantiated, like I did previously. With 4 birds we're gonna be fine against unsubstantiated. Missing, whoa. Yes. The channel is virtually dead, chat. It's -3 mana. Listen up to restrictions and I'll slam some jumps. Sound like a person that is willing to request Ram Ranch and Ram Ranch only. But I rate this deck as 8 out of 10 on a taking game action scale. Lets you click around and enjoy life a little bit. Just make a 6/6 and kill them next turn. I'll do what I want. I just to cast Imagine Ultimatum. My one desire. Razor is already a very powerful piece, but +1/+1 from Kahira really puts it over the top. That's a very funny comment because it's not a very important interaction. In fact, it's like kinda small. Opponent taking that tiny bit of value and blocking my bird. Very sensible move. Very sensible move. Gonna kill them with Seagate Reborn. This time Reborn like in actuality. Pretty funky. Yeah, we need to keep some Croisers. Not playing Kahira to buff the Seagate Reborn. Yeah, I did get a little bit bored at the end of all that, and I felt, I actually will just perform the fastest route to victory here. Check his gas. I'm not super sure if it's like actually gas. Like, look at the curve though, it's so wild, nice curve. It's Kahira better than Lotus as a companion. But it has the advantage of being compatible with the deck, which is a pretty major one. Stefari, Hero of Dominaria is a permanent cost to more than 2 mana. Both to call that a curve, I agree. A curve? More of a... I don't know, what's the opposite of a curve? Why do people not play Master Swiss in those Pioneer tournaments? Yeah, I don't really know. Like, I think Master Swiss is quite good. Even against the Live decks, it should be quite good, but whenever I play Swiss myself, I do badly. Cheers. We'll see where Magic the Gathering is in a year. Where our lives are in a year. But yeah, whenever I play Swiss myself in the Pioneer tournaments, I kinda fail myself. But like sometimes when I look at the results of Pioneer challenges, sometimes a Burn deck wins. In fact, like the red deck wins, just like the saying goes. Gonna cast Scrying on the next turn, and I'm gonna try to discontinuity Lotus Field. Pioneer does not have a critical mass of good spells like Modern to play, Real Burn or Prowess deck. In theory one could agree with you, but then in practice one could go to MTG Goldfish and could go to most played deck in Pioneer Burn and see that So that's decent amount of results and excess. But yeah, like the thing is that we just run into this deck very rarely in the tournaments, which is a bit surprising, I guess. If the discontinuity gets countered, it's not the end of the world. It's okay to trade a counterspell. Trade that for counterspell. Because we're gonna have 2 fields on next turn. Well, if they're playing Vashino Pyromancer, that sort of confirms there are not enough good spells. I don't know. Like people, the rhetoric nowadays is really not warm towards synergy spells. Like playing synergy spells in the game of Magic the Gathering, so-called combinations that let, you know, the combination of spells be better than the sum of its parts be better, and they're playing that because it's a wizard that combines with Wizard's Lightning. It's like pretty bad creature, but it's a creature. Was phase 2. I think it was better to play stage this turn, hold up counter, next play field and copy. What am I holding up to counter? I'm happy trading this for a counter spell, and I end up in the same position that your line suggested. I'm gonna play it to have it on the battlefield as a blocker. I'm not gonna have more lands in my hand. Counter the Drake, yeah. Countering the Drake is a decent argument, I guess. As like, I always seem to die the Drake when I die against him, but I should have been holding up a dispute too, because why did I just... Like, I got used to just copying the field immediately, and there is no reason to do that in painting. Nobody plays Field of Ruin, especially in my opponent's deck. We know they don't play Field of Ruin, so I'm just lazy gaming. I was loose. Upkeep, get rid of the draw step and combat step. Because I can wait till I put a spell on the stack, but I don't think it's really better with the Phoenixes in the graveyard. Incentivizing them to counter this is like kind of fine. Like I really need to draw lands. I would really like to draw lands. Not drawing lands, which is problematic. I should have just foretold one the previous turn. And I could discontinue with them, like same situation. I think the best that I can get out of this continuity is like it's the same situation. They should behave the same way, really. Like exact same situation. I can take it rostered from the last one. Thank you. 5 months kicked. I pressed enter by mistake. You didn't mean to subscribe? I understand you fully. Top 5 months of top quality content, yeah. And to 5 months more, and then to 5 months more again. I have a hard time eliminating the Phoenixes. Pick 2 cards with the counter this, so I'm being hopeful. We'll see. Next turn we can temporal trespass even. The time walks are not getting me anywhere yet. Because they can play cruise, or they can do something else. Start with a shock land and then play cruise. That is a way you can order your spells, yeah. So let's actually block with this, so I have 1 more card in my graveyard. That's how we draw a land. Okay, that's good enough. Good enough, really. Yes. This my opponent tapped out, and we know that this is a format with no force of negotiation. Then the action should come. We have 7 mana, but we can't cast this because of the cost, so it's pretty funky, but you have 1 land away. Hi all, former kid here, what up? What was it? Elemental is red, it truly is, it truly is. We somehow managed to put within our deck a delve spell that nobody knows exists instead of a busted delve spell. No, we have 1 deck for time. But it is true that We also have the time walk death spell, but the time walk death spell is there for emergent ultimatum variety, so that you can fetch 3 time walks to let your opponent give you 2 extra turns if you want to. Make your opponent give you 2 extra turns if you want to. Like, as long as you don't have double dispute, they can kill the fairy, they can counter that. But as long as you don't have double dispute or like counter dispute, then we're okay. Also, well, I guess we can't cast this on the next turn. Whoa, why is my opponent a cleanup? What? Guess now they have untapped mana. It's kinda a bit awkward actually. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna do that boss and cleanup stuff. We play Imagine Ultimatum now, it can get countered, which is not good. So we won't play it. Stage copy zone untapped, that's actually pretty cool. Well, no, I don't like that. I want to do this. That's because then I have a zone on 4 and this and this untaps. Because I want to have free Lotus fields in the next gen. Just to cast the ultimatum with the disputes up to resolve it, as it is of utmost importance to do so. So I won't crack the blast zone, unless I need to. Which car? I've made a significant mistake. I think that resolves. I could tap them down, but I don't think that's good. Right. I assume some kind of action is going to be coming, but the action is coming from on the other side of the battlefield kind of slowly. Okay, no extra phoenixes. I'm gonna block with 4 birds on the bird, person. Okay, and the fairy lives at 1 counter. And we get to copy Lotus field. We have 9 mana, 10 whatever mana, and you get to cast ultimatum with the fire in the battlefield. Another epiphany. Yeah, good stuff. Action is coming. Opponent counters my spell. Kanister. Pays for a dispute like a boss. Opponent disputes again. Oh, negates, sure. Well, why they dispute then? Like, what was that for? Guess it wasn't really gonna be useful for them, but it is still a bit puzzling. There's no correct choices for my opponent now. Give me 2 time walks, which is a choice that one can make. Do we cycle a triumph this game? Yes, we sacrifice a triumph to a Lotus field earlier on. I've taken enough game actions that I can feel the lag in the game being quite significant. Rather significant. Actually barely have enough turns to do stuff. I could have copied blast on the field to kill the tokens, I guess. Yeah, that'll be better. Because then I would have gotten through with the land for sure. I mean, they die anyways because they take 2 to 12, then they take 7, 8, 9, 12, plus 2 more, so it's more than exactly enough. But you wouldn't have quite taken infinite turns. I have taken a bunch of turns before truly stabilizing, and it was kinda not very stable. Yes, more than exactly enough could also be described as more than enough. But like kinda exactly enough because like I'm running dry on stuff. It's killing my opponent barely, in fact, so it is exactly a bit more than exactly enough, but not much more than that. It's pretty funky, I don't know if this kid is good. So under 10 the Q, that's true actually. We had a turn where we had 2 turns in a row because we cast the ultimatum, so actually it was like way over that. So yeah, we're 3-1 in the preliminary. Can't say if this deck is like better than regular versions of Lotus Field or not. Pioneer was always ripe with aggro decks, and it feels to me like it still should. The aggro decks, the like mono green planeswalker card decks, but like nowadays it's just Phoenix is the fastest deck that people are playing kinda, so you can just play the Lotus Field combinations and do fine. Just so wonky. Like look at this deck. 4 Arboreal Grazer, 4 Sylvan Scrying, 3 Shimmer Possibility, and then the rest of the cards CMC 5, 6, 8, 7. Kinda ridiculous, right? Why don't people play aggro stuff? Yeah, that's a good question. Like, I don't know. Maybe next time I play Pioneer, I should just play mono green aggro with Stubborn Denials. I tried to play blue-red prowess with some counter magic, etc., but that didn't seem to be very successful. Too weak in general. The prowess creature is not as good in the format as they are in modern. The mono green Stompy with Company and Stubborn Denials though should pound through like decks like this though pretty badly. Like Sea Leaf Champion, hold up a counter spell, what you gonna do? This deck can't really beat Blue Green Stompy or Spirits, yeah, exactly. Is Simon too slow in this? It does a bunch of things the deck wants, but at a pretty steep mana cost. Simon is a 2 mana, 2 toughness creature first and foremost in a creatureless combo deck, so for that reason alone, I think you would rather pass on that. A limited card. But yeah. If you watch this on YouTube, then remember to smash the subscribe button and remember to turn on the notifications for more videos as they get released.